presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Mr. Peter Obi, made a statement 4 years ago in a gathering that is currently trending on YouTube. Everywhere I go to, I'm just seeing Peter Obi's talk on education, comparing it to Ghana. And I'm like, what did he say that is making people, talking? And I did my research and I came to this conclusion.
Education, education, education. And I find that it's a president that the country, we were at the same rate in 2010 in education.
Mr. Peter Obi and facts 5 and 6.
The literacy rate is 72%. We're still at 1. And we're 49 when we start. Voting Muslim students, we've gone over 20. That's where we should be going.
Where Mr. Peter Obi, applauded Ghanaians, the Ghanaian government on, their take on education, how they are ensuring that education in Ghana doesn't die, how they are, ensuring that education in Ghana is still top notch and more everywhere young perfect scatter. You're welcome to my channel. I'm Delicious. I'm here. I talk Ghana, I talk Nigeria, South Africa, Kenya, and all the issues relating to there. So, guys, Mr. Peter Obi, you all know when it comes to education, he's one person that he is an educationist. That is one thing I love about him. He was the former governor of Anambra State. And I can tell you that this man single-handedly, with the effort of his cabinet members, took Anambra State from where it used to be in education to where it is now. I'll be putting all the data and statistics on your screen for you to see yourself. This man is one person that has always prioritized education. He has always said and has always believed that education is the key to any future, the key to any community success. Yes, and when he was the governor of Anambra State used to do poorly in education, but Governor Peter Obi, as at that time, ensured that Anambra State did not only start doing well in education, but Anambra State started winning several awards. That there is no WAEC, there is no post-UTME, there is no JAM that is held in Nigeria, that at least the first of 3 must come from that state. Despite the fact that he is no longer a governor in Anambra State, Mr. Peter Obi continually ensures that he donates to the educational system in Nigeria. You will always see him go to many college of technology, many nursing schools, many nursing college, give students scholarship. I'm putting them on your screen. Giving students scholarships, laptop. He is somebody that believes so much in education, because take it or leave it, an uneducated brain will definitely be a menace to the society, no matter how we try to cover it up. So he spoke in this particular gathering 4 years ago, comparing the Nigerian educational system to the Ghanaian educational system, saying how well Ghanaians are doing well in education and how it has helped their GDP increase drastically and how it has also helped, the Ghanaian community better.
One thing people fail to realize is that many politicians weaponize illiteracy, poverty, and insecurity to, put the people, or let's say the masses, in a helpless state so that they can, easily put out their, let's say, ill intentions on them. For example, a community or a country whereby education is not prioritized, that is because the politicians have an ulterior motive to keep the people in darkness. Because the level of stable education you will have, it will help to, to brace up and brush up your mindset to an extent. So I noticed, while growing up, Nigerian education was never like this. I remember growing up there, we had a lot of missionary schools, even public schools. Nigerian public schools were even better than the private ones. There was nothing like owing of salaries. The government was funding the education so well that those days, there are some job interviews you will go for. Nobody even considers private school students. They look for those government institutions, those government schools, that is the public schools. They were bringing out, very, very, very intelligent graduates. So, growing up and then seeing what is happening now, I'm so shocked. Although the government is trying their best, but I will say they are not doing enough. They are not doing enough. Those days growing up in Nigeria, there are some certain oil company jobs you go for. If you attend a private school, they will not look at your face. Why? Because they will feel that the standard of education there cannot be compared to the public one. That is to tell you how the government was funding public schools then. This government-owned schools then. Government-owned school students were always the best in WAEC, you're always the best in JAM, you're always the best in NECO. But now, it's so, one thing I have just concluded is that one thing I have, just observed and noticed is that when the government wants to weaponize poverty, then they boost illiteracy. When the government wants to keep the people in bondage, they boost illiteracy. I really need to give it up for the Ghanaian government, because I've been seeing a lot of videos online on, how the government is investing on education. And it's a really, commendable, because even that's even the same thing Mr. Peter Obi was saying in this interview. And this interview was even held 4 years ago. Because when a community or when a country is educated to an extent, the quality of people that will be coming out of that country will be different. Take it or leave it, education plays a huge role in human development. No matter how we want to say, I'm talking about real education. People that went through the four walls of the university, people that went through the four walls of secondary school. And now we say, oh, you don't need to go to school to be successful. I know, but education, the real education helps to brush your brain. It helps you to see life differently. And this is something that the past three administrations in Nigeria has not taken seriously. And I just feel that the people that they are always appointing as this minister of education, they don't even know what they are doing. They are not people that prioritize education. How can you make someone that does not prioritize education a minister of education? How would that person take education seriously? Someone that does not take their health seriously, you make them minister of health. How would they work better, or how would they strive to make the health system better? Because it has never been this bad in this country that the funding of education is so low. The government is not doing as much as they used to, and it's really sad. And even despite the fact that the government is not doing as much as they used to, the Nigerian students are still doing their best. Still, Nigeria still has one of the best graduates in the world. When our students leave Nigeria for masters in the diaspora in the UK, they always come first. They always do well in their classes. Why? Because naturally Nigerians have brain. Just that when it is not educated, those people now end up using those brains for negative things instead of positive things. Despite the educational value in Nigeria that has dropped, our students are still doing well. Once they leave Nigeria, even the ones in Nigeria, they're still doing well. Every time our Nigerian students go out, they win competitions all the time. So I just believe that when the government want to hold a nation captive, they make sure they make them illiterate.
Not just that, my beautiful people. I have to be sincere with you. The Ghanaian educational system is actually top notch. Yes, one thing I like about the Ghanaian educational system is the maintenance culture. I spoke about KNUST University, Ghana. I love the maintenance culture in that school. Despite that school being, that old, over 72 years old, yet when you go in there, the maintenance culture is top notch. The roads, the educational system, you hardly hear the universities go on strike. And even when they go on strike, they don't spend that long before calling off the strikes. And according to the little research I did, I heard that even the time these universities have gone on strike were times when the school was not in section. To me, like I said in my previous video, Nigerian educational system just needs that enough funding from the government. Yes, it needs enough funding from the government so that things like lecturers going on strike can become a thing of the past. Because take it or leave it, when a society is not educated, it will continue the amount of menace that society will be producing will be on the increase. Yes, an educated mind thinks better. Now, Nigerians are reacting differently to what Mr. Peter Obi said in that gathering 4 years ago. This one says Nigeria and Ghana. Nigerians will always compare themselves because believe me, the only difference between Nigerian leaders and Ghanaian leaders is the same. So they're telling Nigerian leaders to do better since Nigeria has the biggest economy and also the fastest growing one. Wow, this one feels that Nigerian leaders and Ghanaian leaders are the same thing. The only reason why they compare themselves is because they feel Nigeria is bigger in size, bigger in economy, and they feel Nigeria should be doing better than what they are doing now. This other one says Nigerians know their country better than anyone. They know their problems and the solution, as in why they are unable to flip the other side of the coin and change their fortune is what I can't understand. Because the human capital of that country is mind-blowing. The whole world is benefiting from their human capital. The only country not benefiting is Nigeria. This is a shame. And this comment to an extent is true. Nigeria has a huge human capital rate, but with the look of things, it is a well. This one says, why Ghana? Nigerians pick another country to compare. Enough of this nonsense comparison of Ghana and Nigeria. Nigeria and Ghana will always compare themselves. They have a love-hate relationship. They will always compare themselves. This one says, why compare Nigeria to Ghana? Why not face the problems in Nigeria and address them? Well, to me, I don't think he was objectively trying to compare Nigeria and Ghana. I just think he was trying to, highlights some things, and if you're highlighting some things, obviously you will have to compare A and compare B. For example, if I'm saying, oh, Nigeria is not doing so well in employment, the unemployment rate in Nigeria is high, I would have to look for another country close to me that is doing well in the employment rate and compare. So I don't think he meant it. He's just trying to compare without, he compared in context. Yes, let us start with the corruption and self-hatred emancipated from tribalism. Ghana is not a problem. Nigeria cannot continuously reminisce on when they were by far better than Ghana, that is improving There are a lot daily. With all the resource, both human and otherwise, that Nigeria has, we'll find ourselves in that situation. Something is not right with Nigerians and not just the leaders only. Well, to me, I would say the issue starts from the top. If the top is addressed, if we have better leadership, the better leadership will now ensure that those in the grassroots, those below them are doing better. When corruption is fought from the top, then that way you can, to an extent, curb corruption out of that country. But when it is coming from the top, you are the grassroots, there is nothing you can do. But my lovelies, that's all I have for you in this video, my beautiful people. I'm Delicious Army. I talk Ghana, Nigeria, South Africa, and all the issues relating to them. Do all by liking the video, do all by subscribing to the channel. I'll see you in my next one, guys. Bye.